Want an unfair advantage to dominate your fantasy football league? Look no further and download SquadQL, the only mobile app you need to crush your friends and rivals. SquadQL recommends the best starting lineup each week based on your starters, your bench players, and the free agency pool. The app provides waiver and trade recommendations, too. Go to SquadQL.com and download SquadQL for free. This app is brought to you by the creators of RotoQL.
This is Christian Kirk with the Arizona Cardinals, and you're listening to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast.
Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast, coming to you from Draft.com Studios with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Let's go. All right.
You know what that reminded
me of?
Here we are. Do you want to know what that reminded me of?
I don't know.
That reminded me of the intro yesterday to our Foot Clan only Footcast. Where Brooks,
I'm now reminded of what happened.
Producer extraordinaire, introed the show the way that Andy usually does.
You've never insulted me more.
And he did the mailbag drop. If you are a Foot Clan member, you have got to listen to the Footcast. You crushed it, Brooks.
Well, thanks. The mailbag drop was not by choice.
I'd turn the volume down close to mute.
Oh, man.
Right before the mailbag.
Yeah, crushed it relative to like a standard of Brooks.
Just
like
mute it.
Brooks's volume, he crushed it. I mean,
he
got up to 4.2.
Yes. He went to 11.
Yeah. Welcome into the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. We have the fantasy forecast today, getting into the Week 4 matchups, starts of the week. And they're good ones. They're real good. And I went a little deeper on all four of mine. I'm excited to break them out, see what you guys think. Find us on Twitter at the FF Ballers. We have Jason's Boom Boom Kicker today.
Ruh-roh.
It's not been.
Oh man,
it's not been good.
This is look. Public service announcement. I always say, and maybe you're new to the Footcast, the Foot Clan, the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. If you're new and you don't know where, if you don't know where the Boom Boom Kicker segment came from, you need to understand it came from my absolute hatred of the kicker position in fantasy football, and I was thrust. This was thrust upon me, and the reason is because kickers are so unbelievably unreliable. They swing points in the favor of matchups that where you make all the right decisions, your opponent makes the wrong decisions on all the positions that both of you guys actually care about, put in effort and research on, but then you got the wrong kicker or the right kicker, and everything changes, and neither of you gave any thought or care to that kicker. And the Boom Boom this year has panned that out because
you're just proving a point.
Look, I'm out. If this was baseball rules, I'm out. This is 3 strikes. I'm headed to the, what do they call that thing, the dugout?
I'm headed to the dugout.
I'm out of here. So good luck today, Boom Boom.
Yeah, it's not been good. You can find us on the web, thefantasyfootballers.com, where you can submit questions for the mailbag. You can check out our weekly rankings. You can see all the perks and cool stuff you get as a jointhefoot.com member. And you can find us on Instagram. Instagram.com/fantasyfootballers. Here's the quick question of the day, and it's a good one. So, Brooks, well done. Who is the most under-pressure player?
Under pressure.
In terms of what they need to do for fantasy owners in Week 4. So, who's the most under pressure to perform in Week 4? Who do you have?
Look, I'm going to start near the top. This is a top 4 pick in the draft this season. He has disappointed. Every question on the last week and the previous week's Footcast was centered around David Johnson. And if there's a glimmer of hope, the glimmer of the quarterback change, maybe Josh Rosen, which normally a rookie quarterback's not going to be the best thing for the running back, but we know it can't get worse. If we can get, this is what I'm calling for, okay? 3 sustained drives in the game.
Careful.
If we can get 3, now I'm not talking 3
Careful, that's a big ask.
Not 3 touchdowns, I would never. Maybe 2 touchdowns. 3 sustained drives and you can get fantasy production that gets, near the 20 mark for David Johnson. He needs that because if the Cardinals come out at home against the beatable Seahawks and Josh Rosen looks Sam Bradford and the Cardinals don't move the ball.
Never go full Sam Bradford.
Never go full Sam Bradford. And Chase Edmonds is out on the field too much and in important situations. At that point, the red alert sound has to go off. So, yes, I am saying the guy under pressure this week is David Johnson. I need you, man.
Well, if you need him, you guys have got this all wrong. You've said you're not bringing the song back until he performs. Don't you understand the song is why he performs?
It's possible.
There
is
a cause and effect. The song was in existence
Yes.
before.
Wait, who do we need? David Johnson. Come on, Mike.
No, I am on strike. I am on strike.
You are on your own.
We need you.
No. No.
Brooks, can you help Jason out with this one? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
David Johnson.
That's the worst one we've ever done. But thank you,
that
Brooks.
that was solid from Brooks.
Yes.
And Mike, you're on strike, and you're costing him fantasy points and our listeners fantasy points. It's clear.
Well, what we do know is Josh Rosen has said that he's ready. And this is my advice for people, if you're around Josh Rosen, if you are a wall or any kind of structure, if you're a wall, stay away from Josh Rosen because he's trying to put something on you.
Okay.
And it's not good.
Yeah, nobody understands what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Look it up.
I did not get that.
Look up the quote.
Yeah, I'm going to tell them the quote because
No.
Because
I want to know.
Yeah, your comments were ridiculous. Let's go back here. Where is that in company?
Yep.
Let's see. Anything can happen.
And I quote.
Anything can happen, and something has happened, so it doesn't change my preparation at all. I'm always balls to the wall all the time," said Josh Rosen.
Oh, I remember that quote. Yeah, that was really dumb, Mike. But I still love you. Actually, I'm not sure I do after you left me hanging on David Johnson. Who's your under pressure player?
Yeah, who's your under pressure player in week 4, Mike?
Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I'm not singing their name.
And this is not because I don't believe in Keenan Allen. It's because fantasy football players are losing faith in Keenan Allen.
Come on, man.
My timeline is, hey, should I trade Keenan Allen for a guy who stinks?
My
and the answer
timeline
is no.
is I'm thinking about I got a comment yesterday. I'm thinking about trading Keenan Allen for Kenny Golladay.
Wow.
Because Golladay is such a better talent.
What? Stop. Don't be
people. Look, down games happen. I've seen some grumblings. People are mad at Antonio Brown.
Keenan.
Too.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Keenan Allen is great. He has underperformed a little bit in 2 of his 3 games.
A lot of bit last game, but yeah, it's the Rams, and he's a little banged up. That's the only thing. He is a little banged up.
Uh-oh. Just imagine. Yeah, that's right. He's dealing with a knee injury, and that's been one of the issues with him. Just imagine your team had David Johnson, had Keenan Allen, and then you add in Dalvin Cook and Devonta Freeman.
Yeah, you'd be bad.
You'd be 0-3.
So Keenan Allen, you putting the pressure on him because fantasy owners are freaking out? If
Yes.
Keenan Allen, even if he has another down week, I will target him in every league I have.
I will too.
I will tell my friends to target them. I will tell my friends' friends to target Keenan Allen. He is too good. My player under pressure this week is Kenyon Drake, running back for the Miami Dolphins. Look, this is your make-or-break week for Drake. Make or break for Drake.
Ooh.
The Patriots give it up to the running back, and he, being Kenyon Drake, is only averaging 13 touches a game right now for 48 yards a game. This is make-or-break time for whether or not you can lead. If you go a quarter through the season, which is even more than that for fantasy owners, right? And you're not getting RB2, high-end RB2 numbers or where he's compared to where he's drafted, it's a disappointment. And so I think this is a make-or-break week for Drake.
I don't disagree.
All right, let's get into the news.
News and notes from around the league.
I know that there are a lot of people targeting Kenyon Drake as well because of the opportunity against the Patriots. So I don't necessarily blame them for that, but if he doesn't have a good week, I'll be disappointed. Marcus Mariota is going to start in week 4 against the Eagles.
That's great news.
Yeah. Here's not as great news. Maybe.
This is weird.
Rishard Matthews has left the Titans. Is that now? That's not full Vontae Davis retirement in the middle of the practice or something, but he doesn't intend to rejoin the team.
No, he wants to be released, and this is after he
Negotiate.
I think he actually read through the contract negotiation or extension that he himself was able to work out with the team, and then he went, "Hey, wait a minute! Wait a
bad
second!
deal.
This deal stinks."
What were there specifics to that deal regards to his playing time?
The deal was specifically he gets no guaranteed money.
Yeah, and it's a team option.
Yeah, so and because he's had very little playing time and even fewer targets, if that is possible, he's going to be a free agent, go somewhere else, I would imagine. I mean, the Titans will just cut him.
He ranted on Instagram.
I don't
Apparently,
know
when he signed this contract, maybe the GM had his fingers crossed behind his back type of thing. We look forward to having Rishard Matthews here for many years, but he hasn't played. And so this is, with Marcus Mariota coming back, this is Corey Davis's opportunity, continued opportunity to be the guy. And if you have an opportunity to be the guy, you've got your quarterback back. You play the Eagles, yes, but the targets are going to be there for Corey Davis all year. That's all there is to it.
If Corey Davis can't get it done this year, he'll never get it done. I mean, no Delaney Walker, no Rishard Matthews. Everything is pointing towards Corey Davis from a volume standpoint.
Of course, it's up to Mariota though.
Russell Wilson. His owner should rejoice. Doug Baldwin is returning to a limited
the most inaudible one yet.
practice.
That was just
Russell Wilson.
If you're an owner of you should be happy. Baldwin returning to practice, could play this week against the Cardinals. Even if he doesn't, he's on his way back, and this is necessary for Mr.
Yes.
Russell Wilson. Joey Bosa not going to play.
That's
Sidelined till week 9. Chargers are one of the top 5 teams in terms of giving up points to the opponent.
This is a big deal for the DST and for just whether or not you should be worried about your players going up against the Chargers. Joey Bosa makes a huge impact, and
it's really
he's going to be gone for a long time.
The way he came out to the media without, this was not team announced and the media was asking him questions, and he just said, I'm definitely not getting back before the bye week, which is in week 8.
He's a unique cat.
Yeah, he is. He's not afraid to sit out games, that's for sure.
Tomorrow is Friday. On Friday, we do In and Out, and we'll cover all of the injuries that have been reported this week. Guys miss practice. Some take practice off to recover from something small. But all these guys missed practice yesterday. John Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Keenan Allen, Matt Breida, Darren Sproles, Jay Ajayi, Larry Fitzgerald, Doyle and Ebron, and Joe Mixon.
Yep.
So we'll cover those in more detail tomorrow. We'll cover them in the matchups as well.
Mild worries about most of that list, but everything goes away if they practice today. Wednesday is the veteran day off, so you can't read too much into injuries then.
I would say of that list, the moderate concern.
Mixon's probably not going to play.
Yeah, but the moderate, from mild to moderate, would be Jay Ajayi. Just pay attention because this guy's just can't get on the field.
You guys have any updates for the Thursday night game tonight, Vikings-Rams?
Well, it sounds like Dalvin Cook is going to play. I'm curious, Jason.
Yes. If Dalvin Cook plays, if he's active, I think that you should start Dalvin Cook. Okay. Absolutely. I was going to pose the question to you guys as well. Do you disagree?
I do. I would try to find another option. If you check out 4for4's, they have a schedule-adjusted fantasy points against, and the Rams are – the Rams. They're number 1 in the league in terms of stopping the running back position.
Yeah.
And therefore, I am afraid. Because if he's back, does that mean he's got a full workload? Maybe he does enough in the passing game to make you happy.
That's what it comes down to for me is how many receptions will Dalvin Cook get? How much work will Latavius
I will
Murray
say
get?
There's definitely a chance he has a good game. I no doubt.
I'm talking hypothetically here. Dalvin Cook or Tyler Lockett. You would clearly go Dalvin.
I would go Lockett in that situation.
No.
Wow.
In a flex,
what would you do, Mike?
If I already had 2 running backs in there, I'd probably not take the chance on the injury, the hamstring. You could get nothing from Cook if he re-injures it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. If Tyler Lockett has been he's been crushing it, and we know that Tyler Lockett has burnt Patrick Peterson and company in the past.
I'd play Phillip Lindsey over Dalvin Cook.
Here's the one thing that's important. If you are planning on playing Dalvin Cook, you need to make sure that you are monitoring. This is going to be pregame. This is tonight. So you can't just say, oh, they're optimistic he's going to play, so plug him in the lineup. Leave him out of your lineup for now. And when it's, 30 minutes or, usually it's announced an hour before kickoff whether or not that player will be active and starting.
Right.
Then put him in.
If you play him in your running back spot, not your flex spot.
That's right.
And I have an announcement for the world.
Okay. I'm excited.
Yesterday there was a great discussion of talking about my dynasty team where I have Ryan Fitzpatrick and I have Kirk Cousins.
Yes, on the show. You were undecided.
Aqib Talib is on IR. It looks like Marcus Peters will not play tonight, so I will be playing Kirk Cousins. Join me. Join me.
I am joining you. I'm playing Kirk Cousins in our listener league.
I'm not joining you.
Okay.
All right. Sunday morning, don't forget, Sunday Live with Mike, 1 hour before kickoff. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitch. Mike is live every Sunday morning. Make sure you follow us on those platforms so you can tune in, get some last-minute start-and-sit decisions. We're going to get into the fantasy forecast. Before we do that, I want to thank Pristine Auction for sponsoring today's podcast, one of our longest-term partners, one of the absolute best websites on the internet because you can get authentic sports memorabilia at an incredible price from every team imaginable, all the players you love. Michael Thomas signed Saints jersey yesterday, $82. Stephon Diggs signed football, $73 yesterday. Keenan Allen, $77 Charger jersey, JSA authentic. Todd Gurley signed Rams jersey yesterday, $72. The list goes on because there are hundreds of daily auctions. Easy to sign up, free to browse, bid on things you want, keep your eyes on it from week to week. PristineAuction.com, Pristine auction.com.
Want to thank Quip for sponsoring today's show. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard me sing the praises of my Quip toothbrush many a times, and I will do it again. I love my Quip toothbrush.
That's how I say Russell Wilson, by the way. I'm brushing my teeth while I say it. That's
sounds
the sound.
like it. Quip is an electric toothbrush. It costs a fraction of the bulk of your brushes, packs the right amount of vibrations to clean your teeth. It's got a built-in timer and guiding pulses. Help you clean for the full dentist recommended 2 minutes. And they've got a subscription plan to keep your teeth healthy. They will deliver new brush heads every 3 months for just $5, and that includes free shipping worldwide. Everyone loves the Quip. It was on Oprah's O List, Time's Best Inventions, and is the first subscription electric toothbrush accepted by the American Dental Association. The Quip starts at just $25, and if you go to getquip.com/footballers right now, you'll get your first refill pack free with a Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first refill pack free at getquip.com/footballers, spelled GETQUIP.com/footballers.
Fantasy Forecast.
All right, week 4, the week that Jason's League of Record team gets on track.
I sure hope so, but if it doesn't, it doesn't matter. The people have really rallied around me.
Yes.
Twitter, emails. I thank you. Come along for the ride. Let's take down some unexpected championships this year.
Something similar happened to me 2 years ago on the show.
That is absolutely
I had
true.
an 0-4 start. It might have been 0-5 in our League of Record, and I doubled down. I went in, not out. I didn't trade away players. I traded 4 players.
And you did well.
I made the playoffs.
Yes, you made the playoffs, did well there, did not win the championship, so I'm going to one-up you
Yes.
this season.
You're going to try.
Brooks and I will take it down.
All right, let's start here with this matchup. The 2-1 Bengals against the 1-2 Falcons. Falcons are 5.5-point favorites in this one. 52-point over-under.
Delicious.
That has Jason salivating. No doubt. There are a lot of players we love in this game. Now, things are trending the right direction for A.J. Green to play. And I think that there is a lot of dependency on A.J. Green, not only for the over-under, but for Andy Dalton, right?
Yeah, I love Andy Dalton. He was my stream of the week. I'm doubling down in a section later in the show. But A.J. Green plays a huge part of that. But his pelvis is apparently doing better. His groin. So we're going to see some A.J. Green action. I'm confident in Andy Dalton, assuming that A.J. Green plays.
Matt Ryan,
There's
so
a difference
far,
between the pelvis and the groin.
I know we talked about he injured his groin, and I'm just reading off the document here.
Why
that
does
was
it say
prepared.
pelvis?
well, they're very close.
Yeah,
together.
I don't know if you know that.
They're near
Well, no,
each
I
other.
know. Yeah, a lot of things in your body are near each other. It doesn't make them the same thing.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
When I have kidney problems,
That's not.
That's your
pelvis.
That's not your spleen.
what?
No, everything is pelvis related.
That's what it is.
It's your core, man.
No,
it's your
actually, to a certain degree, that
ask
to a-
Elvis.
Don't
to a
you
certain
know
knows all
degree,
about it.
that is right. Everything really is pelvis related.
Don't you have to
I mean,
be
a
like
big enough picture here.
65 to hurt your pelvis? Isn't that the rule?
65.
My pelvis.
All right. It is the groin, by the way. I mean, it was a strained groin.
The reason for this over-under and the reason why it could come to fruition and have great fantasy output is the combination. It's all Falcons related. It's Matt Ryan at home. He has been on fire. He's just been awesome. You stay in those flames. You start him, and it's the combination of Matt Ryan, who's been on fire, leading the offensive scores left, right, and center, mixed with the unbelievable bad luck that the Falcons have had with season-ending injuries to their best defensive players. That defense is wrecked. So you can now score on the Falcons, and you're going to have to keep up with the Falcons. That's why it should be a wonderful time
For all.
for all.
Here's something interesting, because through the first 3 weeks, we have the top 5 quarterbacks: Ryan Fitzpatrick, Patrick Mahomes, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, Big Ben. Percentage chance right now, based on the fact the Falcons' defense is struggling, Calvin Ridley's emerging. What do you think about Matt Ryan as a top 5 end-of-season quarterback? What percentage chance do you give that, based on the way things are going?
I give it a decent chance. I mean, I would give it at least a quarter. You know, I think 25.
I'd go higher than that. I'm going at least 40%.
Sure.
Really?
There's
Yeah.
a legitimate chance because we've seen Matt Ryan dominate before. And what it took was a lot of what's happening now, right? It took second year in an offensive system. That's what we have now. I mean, I pumped the brakes on the Falcons last season when Sarkisian came in. This offseason, I was all about the Falcons, year 2 under that system, adding Calvin Ridley, and now with their defense collapse, I really do like Matt Ryan's potential. He's one of those streamer guys where you picked up to play him in a matchup.
You start Ryan, you start Coleman, you start Julio.
And you're not ever letting him go.
Do you start Ridley or Hooper?
Oh, Ridley.
No, I'm sorry. I'm saying, do you start both?
I think
they're independent questions.
I believe that Ridley is a player that should be started in on most teams. I think Hooper is a player that I don't ever want to start. He could end up there because any tight end in the league could, if you get a touchdown, you're a top 12 guy.
Sure, but Hooper already has 2 targets inside of the 10, which, I mean, he's only got 2. That's doing very well for a tight end, a streaming tight end option.
Do you want to give
for fantasy? No, go ahead.
So Steve Sarkisian has figured out the red zone this year. Matt Bryant's actually been a terrible kicker because they're scoring when they get in the red zone. I think Matt Bryant's like the 24th ranked kicker this year. He's normally a top 5 guy. But Steve Sarkisian's figured it out. So I want to know, Mike, do you want to apologize to him or anything?
No.
Okay. No thanks.
Well, talk to me after week 7.
All right. Here's an interesting stat. Atlanta has allowed a league-high 107 catches to running backs. They allowed 107 last season, which was number 1 in the league. This season, they've given up a league-high 36. They have not fixed this problem, and Gio Bernard's likely to get the start. I'm sad.
Yeah.
Hello, Gio.
I'm so sad as a Mixon owner because this would be a great opportunity for him.
Yeah.
But Gio Bernard's going to start this game.
And he's going to be an RB1 this week.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I mean, the odds are there that Atlanta's going to put up points against the Bengals defense that has given up a ton of points to the quarterback, the running back, the tight end position, and then Bengals are going to have to come back.
This reminds me of my start of the week in week 2 with Chris Thompson, where he ended up being a great start and had 1 rushing yard because he had whatever it was, 12 receptions for almost 100 receiving yards. Gio fits that role. This defense has, a deficiency there. So I love Gio Bernard. He should not be on anyone's bench.
And Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, play him.
Or Calvin Ridley.
Tyler Boyd.
I would take Calvin Ridley.
I would go Boyd. Would you guys like to water bet that against each other? Boyd versus Ridley?
I mean,
that seems like a solid water
confident, so yes.
Yeah, I think I'm down.
Water bet.
Time to check my rankings.
The most optimistic. Oh, okay.
It's
Sure.
fun.
Hey, Jason, you want to throw $50? Yeah, sure. Okay. Why not?
Are you throwing $50 in there too?
No. No. I have get this. In my rankings, it appears I have Calvin Ridley 1 spot higher than
Tyler Boyd.
Nice.
So, and just to affirm for Gio Bernard, Mr. Mark Walton, rookie running back for the Cincinnati Bengals, who Marvin Lewis said, "Wow, they're gonna share the load." What he meant was that Mark Walton was going to play on about 11% of the snaps and do literally nothing.
He had no carries?
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen this before.
Yes.
Gio, when an injury happens ahead of him and Gio gets the chance to be a workhorse, he's very productive.
I mean, it's just it was a mean thing to do to Mark Walton for him to say that. Because Mark Walton got super hyped.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
said,
he's like,
I'm going to play.
He's like, hey,
Yes.
hey, coach, I'm going to play. Say hi to your mother for me.
Is that Mark Wahlberg? Not Mark Walton?
Yeah, but that's his voice now.
Hey.
Now and forever. Hey, coach,
Gio,
put me in.
Hand me the ball.
I'll be good. Say hi to your mother for me. Mark Walton.
Mark Walton is Mark Wahlberg now. That's great. 2-1 Buccaneers, 2-1 Bears.
Hey, Gio.
Hey, Gio.
Get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Hey, Gio, you did a great job. Can I have a turn? Say hi to your mother for me. All right. What team now? Buccaneers. The
Buccaneers and Bears.
red-hot
And
Buccaneers.
Bears.
Well, not red hot. They lost.
But their team color.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The red
fire,
hot.
It's
fire
very-
engine red.
Dude, were you guys Red Hots fans? Like the candy?
No!
I hated Red
They're
Hots.
the worst.
Yeah, who's into Red Hot? You know who's into Red Hots? People who like scary movies. I hate scary movies. I hate Red Hots.
I like scary movies.
Who goes to scary movies? You go to horror movies?
A lot of people. Look at the box
I used to,
office
but
results.
the wife
I know a
is not
lot of
about it.
people do. But what kind of animals go to those movies? What kind of human beings?
I
Who
don't
wants
know.
to be scared and pay money for it?
we all want to have
You
emotion.
hate being scared, Jason.
I do.
You don't go to horror movies.
I do not.
So you're just
I'm just supporting
You're
the
a big
people
old
that
hypocrite.
choose to do it. I get the allure.
here's
I don't want
here's
it.
$12. Make me feel uncomfortable for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, say hi to your mother for me. All right.
Hey, Pennywise. Say hi to your mother for me.
We need Mark not Mark Walton, the real one. Now I'm confused. Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg scary movies. And I'm not talking about The Happening.
Hey,
That was just
hey,
scary for me to watch because it
Don't
was
go in that
so
basement.
bad. The trees.
All right, Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's supposed to get the start. He's getting the majority of reps at Wednesday's practice. If you listen to Jameis Winston, Jameis said, look, everybody's happy. I'm happy. They're happy. The city's happy.
Oh,
Everybody's happy.
You're happy, Jameis?
Peyton Barber, sit him. Right?
Yeah, against the Bears' defense is legit.
The Bears defense has the number one, our number one in the league in sacks by a 3-sack margin.
How did that happen?
Khalil Mack. So the Bears defense has been special. The Buccaneers defense has been atrocious. Ryan Fitzpatrick has been special, and Mitch Trubisky has been atrocious.
Something's got to
Something's
give.
got to give in this matchup. The over-under is 46.5 points.
I think what gives in this matchup is I believe that this is actually a Mitch Trubisky playable game. Now I'm not wanting to play him. I'm not suggesting you start him, but two quarterbacks.
That sounds like a horror movie.
My point
Yeah.
is I think what gives is not going to be I mean, look at it this way. Tampa Bay, they've allowed a league high 25 catches and 329 yards to the tight ends. Trey Burton has been okay, not great, not terrible for tight ends so far. But this is the perfect matchup with their personnel. I think they match up well against Tampa Bay, and Mitch could move the ball a little bit better than what we've been seeing the last few weeks.
I'd rather endure a Transformers marathon
You have to
than
understand.
play Mitch Trubisky.
You have to understand this. Mitch Trubisky, I am super confident now. He is a bad quarterback. He will never be a great quarterback. Ever. Sorry, Bears fans. But
That is a really strong lifetime declaration you made.
no, I just mean like the rest of eternity, he will never be a great quarterback.
No.
Forever.
I got it. I got it.
Like as long as if he played for 20 years, he'd never be great. But
Wow.
there are a lot of poor quarterbacks who have put up plenty of great games before. And this is a matchup where I think that a terrible quarterback can have a decent game.
All right.
Let's focus on the
little bit of shade on Trubbs.
Yeah, but while I tell Mitch Trubisky to get bodied, I actually do like Allen Robinson a lot in this game, and Trey Burton. I agree with you, Jason. The weapons for Chicago are playable far more than the quarterback is.
Yeah.
What do you think about the 2 top 5 wide receivers that Tampa has in this game? Number 1 in the league right now at wide receiver, Michael Thomas. Also known as
Michael Thomas.
Okay.
Michael Thomas. Mike Evans is number 2, Tyreek Hill number 3, Deshaun Jackson number 4, Adam Thielen number 5. 2 Tampa receivers.
Right.
This is going to be a game in which Ryan Fitzpatrick has to be smart against the pass rush. Do you start Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson?
Well,
Evans is a locked and loaded
Evans
starter.
is locked in. Deshaun Jackson,
I think
he's a flex guy. I understand he's a top 5 wide receiver, but he's not one of those guys where you feel great about plugging him in as your wide receiver too.
I feel less confident in starting him this week because of the pass rush of the Bears. I know Deshaun Jackson is fast, but his deep balls, the play takes a little bit more time to develop. Right. You've got to protect Ryan Fitzpatrick in the pocket and give him time for D-Jax to break loose, and I don't think that's going to – there's not going to be as many opportunities in this game against this Bears pass rush. So I would rather start Chris Godwin over Deshaun Jackson in this game.
Yeah, the game's in Chicago. Tampa has allowed the 2nd most rushing touchdowns and 6th most fantasy points to running backs. Jordan Howard has the 7th most touches in the league at the running back position. He's an auto start here.
Jordan Howard is also a good trade for candidate.
He is.
Because people are disappointed in Jordan Howard. I don't know why. I mean, because he hasn't done anything great. He hasn't blown up. He hasn't given you any 25-point game.
Running back 14 through 3 weeks, which is fine.
Yeah, which is fine. And over the course of the season, he looks pretty much guaranteed, barring injury, to be a top 12 guy. His workload, his usage has been great.
We'll move on to the next matchup, but I want to ask a quick one. Jordan Howard or Mark Wahlberg?
What are the stakes?
On the field, not Hollywood.
On the field?
I don't know. Look. I saw him in, what was that, the Invincible? What was the name of that movie?
It's Invincible, man.
He was the undrafted
Even I'd take Jordan Howard, though. He's got a great mother.
Say hi to your mother for me.
He's got a great mother.
1-2. That's the Lions' record, taking on the 1-2 Cowboys. Cowboys are 3-point favorites at home.
Oh, okay.
43.5 point over-under, and
Andy's almost upset of the week.
That call does not make me upset.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
It doesn't make you upset, almost upset.
Nope.
You're with me.
Yep.
This was look, last week the Lions were impressive. You have 3 startable fantasy wide receivers on the Lions offense.
Yes.
And some people want to know, how did we get here? Part of how we got here was Eric Ebron leaving.
Exactly.
Targets.
Yep.
That we thought maybe, Luke Wilson or something. Look, they went away from that. Kenny Galladay's out there being all Kenny Galladay every minute of the day.
He looks in the mirror, and he's still Kenny Galladay.
And dropping them smooth routes.
It's so smooth. Yeah, Luke Wilson was one of my favorite dynasty stashes over the offseason at the tight end position, because the Lions vacated over 100 targets between Darren Fells and Eric Ebron. And so the thought process is, okay, Luke Wilson's signed to be the pass-catching tight end, but they said, bollocks to that. We're just going to go 3 wide.
Where do you think Kerryon Johnson ends the week?
I think he ends the week as an RB2, has north of 15 touches in this, 15 carries in this game, and is an okay asset. But until he gets a touchdown, you're never going to say he's great. He's a great start. To me, he's a flex option where I'm fine benching him for another better option if one is out there. And from here on out, rest of season, I think you can be okay starting him as well. He just doesn't have a very high ceiling.
Sean Lee for the Cowboys is out. And when Sean Lee is out for the Cowboys,
bad things
happen to them.
No doubt about it. The Lions' defense is actually emerging under Matt Patricia over the last couple of weeks. They've given up the 7th fewest points to the quarterback, the 5th fewest to the wide receiver position.
They've got a problem.
What?
They have a problem, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, the Lions have allowed the most rushing yards.
Well, it's not like they have to go up against Zeke in Dallas.
Look, yeah, but the problem that you run into is what Dallas had last week, which is, yes, Zeke is great. So what? Who cares? It doesn't matter because they lose, and they have to throw the ball when they're down. Look, they're at home, and I know the game script is conducive to a Zeke type of game, 43.5-point over-under. I like the Lions in this matchup. Now, Brooks, when you pry your eyes open to watch the Dallas offense, I know they're your team, and you hook up that contraption that keeps the eyes open, and you look elsewhere. Other than Zeke, where's your hope?
There is none.
There is none. Cole Beasley, Allen Hurns was complaining this morning. He's come out now.
Signed with the Cowboys?
Stub his toe? What happened?
Complaining about targets.
Too many?
He
or
thinks
too
he can
poor?
he can get open anytime, but they're throwing for under 200 yards a game, and he's not getting targeted.
Yeah, I would be complaining if I was a Cowboy wide receiver as well that I'm not good as a wide receiver.
You would complain that I wish I was good. I'm not good.
I wish I was better as a wide receiver, but I'm a Cowboy wide receiver.
Weren't you guys telling me that Allen Hurns is all that in a bag of chips?
We were saying he was going to be the number one for the Cowboys, and it appears that he still might be, but it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Now, all that said,
he sucks, by the way.
I love the Lions. I am a big fan. I'm rooting for them hardcore, obviously, as a Kerryon Johnson truther. Shout out to Ninja, the big giant Lions fan who is with me loving Kerryon Johnson, but I pumped the brakes on Marvin Jones because I disagree with the almost upset. I hope for the upset here. I hope the Lions come in and win the game because that's going to mean more fantasy points everywhere. Kenny G, Marvin Jones, Golden Tate, Kerryon. But I believe this game will be a lower scoring, Zeke running the ball. I think Zeke has a great game. And, unfortunately, if the clock slows down like that, I worry about this being a not as productive as one would hope. You look at two mediocre teams with a lot of offensive fantasy-relevant talent. That's usually a recipe for success, and I just worry here. Both of these teams, man, can you imagine being in this game, right? One of these teams is coming out
1-3,
2-2, and one, their season's over. So they're going to be playing for everything. I think they're going to just give the ball to Zeke every single play and play scared because that's kind of how the Cowboys play. But I think it's going to work this week.
Now, we'll find out. Look, go ahead, Mike.
I just wanted to bring up the name of Jeff Swain.
No.
Okay. He had 7 targets last week, 5 receptions.
Now, are these from
47 yards?
Are they from Dak Prescott?
They certainly are.
Okay.
What position is that, Mike? Who's that?
Did I say tight end?
No, you just said
no.
You didn't even say his first name.
I did.
Yeah,
Jeff.
Jeff Swain.
My name is Jeff. Look, he's a tight end, and we know that Jason Witten was just incredibly productive despite Dak Prescott's
You got your eyes on Swain?
I'm not picking him up, but I do have my eyes on him possibly emerging. Somebody has to catch a pass or two.
A lot of people are going to catch passes, but that's the problem. A lot of people are going to catch passes. It's spread around. He could end up he could overtake Allen Hurns and be the leader of this offense. I don't think it matters from a pass catching.
Well, he is. He has
standpoint.
more yardage on the year than Allen Hurns.
Gross.
We need to move on. The 1-2 Bills take on the 1-1 Packers in Lambeau. Packers are 10-point favorites in this one, despite Josh Allen's masterful performance last week. Guess who has the second most rushing attempts in the league?
Josh Allen?
Yes.
Josh
Allen.
For
a quarterback, of course. And look, the Packers defense is 24th in the league when it comes to stopping fantasy quarterbacks. Is there hope for Josh Allen in this matchup, or are you staying far, far away? Now, we know the rushing floor. It raises the baseline for these guys. I mean, would you rather play Josh Allen, who had a very impressive week last week, fantasy-wise? Would you rather play him or Baker Mayfield this week?
Baker.
Yeah, I would go Baker as well. I do agree that Josh Allen, his floor is higher because of his rushing output. But last week, what happened with the Buffalo Bills, it was a complete trap game. And that's not to say that this couldn't also be a trap game, but
10 rushing attempts last week for Josh Allen.
They look good right now against the quarterback, or at least they did last year. part of that is because of what happened to Kirk Cousins. You come out 3 turnovers in 3 seconds, and the wheels fall off, and he couldn't come back, and then you get to pass rush. I don't think that's happening against Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau. I think that this is a game where the Packers cover.
I was about to say I think the Bills will lose the game, but I don't think that the Packers cover 10 points.
You are better. I will always admit the truth is you are much better at the lines than I am. So it's an interesting take. I always respect your line call.
What do you think about the over-under, 45 points?
45 points on the over-under. I feel like the under is likely in this game.
So Josh Allen and company, last week, no turnovers for Josh Allen, 68% completion percentage, 10 attempts on the ground, and actually put up a top 5 speed. There were
all players.
Wow. So Josh Allen over 20 miles an hour on his little TD jaunt. That's what you call it when Josh Allen runs into the end zone. It's a jaunt. LaShawn McCoy,
because he's so big.
Sure. LaShawn McCoy expects to play in Week 4 against the Packers. I would start LaShawn McCoy.
Yes.
You saw Josh Allen helps the offense.
LaShawn McCoy,
he's a trade target for me.
I guess it's hard to know because you have to make the decision right now, and you aren't 100% sure that McCoy's playing, but Dalvin Cook or Shady McCoy if you could make that decision, Jason?
If I knew both of them were starting, I would go with Dalvin Cook. I think he's just the more talented player on the better offense. And I expect that even though Minnesota has a good defense, I think they are going to have to keep up with the Rams because so far everyone has had to.
You're starting Rodgers on the Packers side of the ball, and you're starting Devontae Adams. Jimmy Graham has been meh. He's been okay. He's, I think, tight end 15 right now. I was looking this morning. I gave you the other positions. I might as well tell you where the tight ends are stacking up. But right now, the top 5 tight ends in football: Travis Kelce, O.J. Howard, Jared Cook, Zach Ertz, Kyle Rudolph through 3 weeks.
And that's why Gronk is a trade target. Because
No
at the end of the year,
doubt
he'll
about
be
it.
number 1.
Yeah, that's true. Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, Ty Montgomery. Montgomery had 9 targets last week, 6 receptions. What do we think about the backfield, and who do you feel like, you have to start one? Let's say that's the rules in your league. You have to start a Packers running back.
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones.
And then Randall Cobb, Geronimo Allison. That was said so passively, Jason.
This could be an NFL party for Aaron Jones against the Buffalo Bills defense.
An NFL party?
Yeah. Ain't no party like an NFL party.
That's
I've been to a few of them. I'm surprised you haven't. They're really fun.
Allison or Cobb?
Allison.
Yes, I agree, Allison. Allison is a guy I talked about on the waiver wire show. I'm confident putting him in as a flex and taking whatever Aaron Rodgers can give me.
All right, the Texans take on the Colts. Texans are 0-3. The Colts are 1-2. The game's in Indianapolis.
Oh.
Colts are 1-point home favorites. A lot has been made of the Colts defense. They're currently second in the league in terms of fewest points given up to opposing wide receivers. Mike said on the show yesterday that he's all over DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller, and I am with him. This is one of those deceptive stats to me. The Colts, if you recall, their defense, well, it has been improved. Think about the wide receiver cores they have faced. They have faced Philadelphia.
Without any of their
No
weapons.
wide receivers, really, to speak of. I mean, you have
Aguilar.
Yeah, but the tight ends, and then like Jeffrey's off the field, Mike Wallace is hurt, and they faced Washington. Now, Washington in that game, it was Chris Thompson, the Chris Thompson show, Jordan Reed.
Yeah.
So I think that's a deceptive stat. Not to say that their defense isn't improved and can't, perform, but I expect big things from DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller in this game.
The Colts just don't have the secondary personnel to match these numbers. I mean, it's one of those things where if you see a trend starting, I'm fine hopping on board and saying, hey, look, the Colts defense has turned around. They're tough against wide receivers, against quarterbacks, but they just don't have the personnel on the field to hold up over the course of the season as a top-end defense. So, yeah, I completely agree with you, Andy. This is one where if you see red in your matchups and you're afraid to start your Texans, you don't want to start Will Fuller because it looks like a bad matchup. It's not.
I love Will Fuller.
Yeah.
And so does Deshaun Watson. He's averaging 10 more fantasy points per game when Will Fuller is active than when he isn't.
Do you want to know what
It's a big deal for the offense.
Yeah, do you want to know what I love the most about Will Fuller?
Yes.
What? Okay, I was going to wait for an answer, but I got it. What I love the most about Will Fuller is actually not Will Fuller. It's Bruce Ellington.
That's weird.
It's Ryan Griffin.
Oh.
It's Jordan Thomas. It's Jordan Atkins. These are the...
You're making names up.
No, exactly. There's no one else that Deshaun Watson is passing the ball to here. It's Will Fuller, DeAndre Hopkins. That's it.
Well, you know who got some passes was Lamar Miller.
That's true. 5, right?
He was atrocious on the ground. 10 attempts for 10 yards. I'm no math major. But that's 1 yard in attempts, which is also known as extremely bad.
Yeah.
But he salvaged the fantasy day, 41 receiving yards with a receiving score. Jason.
Yes.
Lamar Miller, lover.
Yes.
You going to play him against the Colts?
Yes.
Okay.
T.Y. Hilton has had at least 10 targets in all 3 weeks. That's why he was one of my trade targets yesterday. He's a lot better than the 32nd ranked wide receiver that he's sitting at right now. I think it'll be a very interesting game for him. They're at home. I don't expect Hilton to be shut out or anything close to it. I like Hilton.
No, this is a good game. It's on the higher end of the Vegas over-under, so Vegas is expecting points to be scored. At home, Andrew Luck is going to be able to score on a halfway decent Colts.
I don't like him.
I'm just saying I think he's going to be able to put up enough points to be relevant. I'm not saying he is a must-start, but I'm saying weapons for both teams. I don't think this is going to be a defensive game. This is one where I am clearly predicting, an over on the score. So that's why Lamar Miller, Will Fuller, Hopkins, Watson. There's very few pieces here I don't want to start.
If you want to attack a fourth name on the make or break under pressure, I think Andrew Luck is the one because he was at Washington, at Philadelphia, 179, 164 yards. At home against Houston, this matchup, an 0-3 Houston team, Luck has to perform. If he doesn't perform this week, I think he goes straight. He's a waiver wire guy.
Yeah, I would agree.
There's no reason to just bank on the name of Andrew Luck and then bury your season because of it.
I agree.
I'd rather be starting somebody else. The 1-2 Jets take on the 2-1 Jaguars. Jags are 7.5-point faves, 38.5-point over-under. That is a low-scoring affair. Over-under 7 points for the Jets.
I'll take
the over.
I'll take the over. Barely.
I think they can get to 10.
You think the Jags cover in this game? They had a very underwhelming performance, but they're at home, and they're gonna do wonders to Sam Darnold's opportunity here.
Yes, I do think they cover. I think the defense can score a touchdown here with Leonard Fournette expected to be back. That look for fantasy, the wide receiving options are usually better for the Jaguars and as well as Blake Bortles when Fournette's gone. But as a whole, for the team, the Jaguars are clearly better, I believe, with Fournette on the field. It maximizes their defense. I don't want a lot of pieces here. This is a 38.5-point over-under. I think I take the under here.
That's the lowest of 28, by the way, of 2018. The lowest of the entire season.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where, and I might pick the under because how much can the Jets really score on this defense with a rookie quarterback? If I want Fournette.
Yeah, I want to, and from this matchup in total, I'll play Fournette, and I will play Quincy as the short
full PPR.
Keelan Cole?
No.
You'd play Quincy over Keelan Cole?
Yes.
I would play
That's
Cole.
a weird take.
I think I think he will be necessary, and I don't think Keelan Cole will be necessary at all.
Yeah, but I do think that Keelan Cole can beat this Jets defense. I would rather play Keelan Cole than Quincy, but I understand the argument from both sides because if the Jaguars are up, they get a defensive
That seems
score,
like a really
Keelan Cole's had one good game.
Oh, this sounds like you two got to face off. Sure.
Waterbed.
Keep in mind, Quincy had a pretty bad game last game, and Cole is still the target leader. The Jags are top 10 against every position in fantasy, and the Jets have given up 30 fantasy points a game to the wide receiver position. That's how you're going to beat them. I think that this is not going to be one of those situations where we just print out the template of run the whole game long. You saw it last week. The Jags lost at home. They're going to have to come out and have some success through the air. I like Cole over Enunwa. You like Enunwa over Cole.
Yes.
That's why we waterbet it. Otherwise, in this matchup, there's not a lot to be excited about. I don't think there's a lot to be excited about, even those two that were competing.
Yeah.
We might win 8-6 on the fantasy points. Anything else?
I think you can
Not
still
from that
start.
game.
I think you can still throw Blau Powell out there as a flex.
Okay, yeah. I'm fine with Powell as well.
Who's that again?
Blau Powell.
Starts of the week.
All right, starts of the week, week 4. Let's get it going. I'm going to start with I went a little deeper on all 4 of my starts this week. The theme of my starts is confidence.
I would say 3.
I'm curious who you. Oh,
One of yours is a top 5 tight end right now.
sure.
It's still yes. He's a top 5 tight end. If I had put Jared Cook's name in there, Mike, would you still feel the same way? Because Jared Cook's a top 5 tight end.
Oh, get bodied.
I mean, right
that's
now,
a fair point.
being a top 5 tight end doesn't matter that much. It's just a fact. So let's start with the tight end since we just alluded to it.
Sure.
Tight end start of the week. I'm going with O.J. Howard. O.J. Howard is going to be the beneficiary of a massive Bears pass rush. They've given up touchdowns to the tight end position in back-to-back weeks, and it's going to be hard for Fitz to go deep repeatedly as he is prone to do. I think a big play from Howard or a touchdown is likely. Howard has been trending up. Jason loves him. I think this week is setting up nicely for Howard to continue.
Yes.
Maybe he stays in that top 5 for another week.
I think he can. Yeah.
I do love him. I think he was the guy that when I went to make my start of the weeks, I picked O.J. Howard. I saw that Andy had him, so I pivoted, ironically, to the aforementioned Jared Cook.
That is
Jared Cook. I know he's a top 5 tight end, but nobody feels like Jared Cook is a top 5 tight end. It was all on the back of that home opener, 9 for 180 at home. He's been utilized on the road the last 2 games, 4 receptions, 5 receptions, which is pretty good for a tight end, but didn't do much with it, never hit 50 yards. But I believe that against Cleveland, going back home to Oakland, where last seen he was the at least first 3-quarter savior, the fans are going to cheer him on. I think they're going to need him. I think Baker is able to move the ball. I am happy starting Jared Cook this week, and that's not something that you can usually always say.
or want to say out loud.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mike,
that's true.
who's your tight end start of the week?
I'm going looking at someone who should be he's available on 40% of waiver wires according to ESPN. That's Tyler Eifert. I just want in on this matchup.
Yeah.
And the pieces aren't really available. But, with Tyler Boyd, surely owned AJ Green. So how can you get in there? Tyler Eifert, 50-plus point over-under. His target share is growing every single week. The snap counts in the mid-60%. I'm interested in Tyler Eifert as a deeper play.
All right, wide receiver. I'm going to go with another deeper name. Antonio Callaway, wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns, facing an Oakland defense that has given up in their last matchup 4 touchdowns.
Giving up is correct.
It has given up 4 touchdowns, 72 fantasy points given up to the wide receivers for the Dolphins. Now, I get it. Maybe it's a little funky because you had a couple trick plays in there. Don't care. 4 touchdowns is a lot, and Callaway is going to be the primary outside option for Baker. I think that rapport is going to prove itself valuable this week, and I like Callaway as a start of the week. I want to give you confidence to flex him in there.
I'm going to go with Emmanuel Sanders, a guy we were very high on entering into the draft, saying that we'd much rather have him than Demaryius Thomas because he was going several rounds later, and either one could finish as the wide receiver 1 here for the team. Emmanuel Sanders being used from the slot works great with Case Keenum. The matchup on Monday Night Football at home against the Kansas City Chiefs, who are a team that can score on anyone, including Denver. The Kansas City Chiefs have obviously been giving up a lot of points because they've been scoring a lot of points, and they don't have a great defense. You remember those first 2 weeks with the Chargers and the Steelers where, you had 198 yards and 2 touchdowns week 1, 216 yards and 2 touchdowns week 2 to the wide receiver position. It's one of those things where I believe that Emmanuel Sanders is the number 1 for Denver, and you want a receiving option in this game against Kansas City.
Right now, the bottom 5 teams in the league in terms of points given up, Saints, Chargers, Chiefs, Steelers, Falcons. It's ironic because 2 of those teams played the Chiefs, and then the Chiefs are right in the middle of it. So I like the call.
Also,
Sanders has been very explosive this year.
He's been great, but my start of the week is Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh,
I can't let that.
You can't.
I got to get grandfathered in. So I've got 2
every week, though, right?
every week. It's Juju Smith-Schuster because he's so good.
A start.
Great.
A start is born.
A start is born every week.
No.
Yeah. Oh, I'll allow it.
Mike, who's your wide receiver start of the week?
I'm going with Allen Robinson.
Really?
Versus Tampa Bay. The Bucs are allowing the most. Well, they're tied technically, but for allowing the most passing yards per game in the league. I mentioned I don't like Trubisky. I don't want to play Trubisky this week.
Chris Conte is gone now too.
Yeah, but I like the weapons for Chicago in this matchup. So Allen Robinson has no fewer than 7 targets. He had 14 against Seattle. I think a breakout game for Allen Robinson is coming at sometime soon, and I think that this is a great opportunity against the Bucs.
I mentioned it earlier this week. Trubisky has only thrown a touchdown every 40 passes this year. I've wanted to trade for Robinson due to the target numbers in almost every league I'm in, and what has stopped me is my feeling that he's going to be desperately reaching for the touchdowns and it's never going to happen, but maybe it doesn't matter. And if it does happen, then it's a big week.
This is where, again, it's usually not going to happen because of how bad Mitchell Trubisky is. But this matchup, it really is good. I like Allen Robinson. I like Trey Burton.
My running back start of the week, staying with the give you confidence theme here. Phillip, Lindsey, running back for the Denver Broncos after the ejection last week. Maybe he's off the radar. Maybe you're thinking about starting somebody else in the flex position and you don't have confidence, but I say start him. Chiefs giving up the 3rd most yards per rush to running backs this season. It does not feel like a Royce Freeman type of game to me. I think this is a solid flex matchup for Phillip Lindsey. I think he's going to end up in the top 15 at the position at the end of week 4 as they play catch-up against a very, very good Chiefs offense.
Yeah, my start of the week, we talked a lot about him in the matchup for good and obvious reasons, but I want to make sure that if you have him, if you picked him up off of waivers, he wasn't your starter. And so you might not think you should start Gio Bernard because maybe you've got a good running back core. You need to start Gio Bernard in this matchup. I've got Gio Bernard pretty much as an RB1 this week. I'd play him over the other really good options like Marshawn Lynch. I said I like Lamar Miller this week. I'd play him over Lamar Miller and Alex Collins and Tevin Coleman in the same game. Tevin Coleman's a great start. Start Tevin Coleman, but I think Gio Bernard, if you leave him on your bench, you're going to be like, man, shoot. I should have seen it coming. I should have listened. So put Gio in the lineup and watch him.
Mother for me.
What? It's the howdy mother for me. Mark Walton's on the bench.
All right, my running back start of the week is Carlos Hyde taking on Oakland. We just seem to like the Cleveland Browns against the Oakland Raiders. I think it's a solid matchup. Baker changes everything for this running game. You saw what happened to Cleveland in the second half. Carlos Hyde was energized. He ended up coming away from the game with 2 scores, directly related to Baker Mayfield he's actually able to move the offense down the field, increase those scoring opportunities, keep the defense honest. So this is a confidence play that Carlos Hyde is a very strong running back play this week.
All right. Going with Hyde. I like it. Just traded for him in one of our leagues. I'm going to give you one more.
Oh. Hey, wait a minute.
At the quarterback position.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My quarterback start of the week is none other than Gulp. Eli Manning, quarterback for the New York Giants.
Yes.
He is facing the worst pass defense in the entire league. He's at home. Yes, the Saints have given up 50-plus fantasy points to 2 of the 3 opposing quarterbacks they faced in 2018. And Eli had a good game last week, 25 for 29 with 300 yards passing against the Texans. He's actually a good start this week.
Yeah.
And I would play him over Kirk Cousins.
Ugh, I disagree with that.
I get all of what you're saying. I like Eli this week. This is really a matter of what you believe about Kirk Cousins more so than what you believe about the great matchup at home for Eli. I believe Kirk Cousins is going to have a good game. And that's why my start of the week is Jared Goff on the other side of the ball. If you're a Jared Goff owner.
You sure about that?
I am sure about that.
All right.
Because week 1, a little bit disappointing against Oakland. Week 2, a little bit disappointing against Arizona because it was just King Goff. Because it was against Arizona and Todd Gurley takes over. And Minnesota's got a good defense. But I think Minnesota also has a good offense, and they're going to be able to somewhat keep up, and Jared Goff is going to have to sling the rock. What I saw last week was...
He's looked so good this year.
He's just looked great. He's put the ball exactly where it needs to be. He's so good at fitting it over some defenders and under the safeties. Brandon Cooks has really changed what he's able to do from a speed standpoint. Robert Woods has looked great. His weapons are just too good. And while he's not going to always be a startable asset, because a lot of times they won't need him to do much, I believe that Kirk Cousins can get the job done. And if Kirk Cousins is doing what he needs to do to try to get the Vikings a win and succeeding, then Goff will have to. And I believe that Jared Goff has a good game. So, yes, I am starting Jared Goff this week with pretty good confidence.
Mike, round us out.
I'm doubling down here with Andy Dalton. He's the reason why I have Tyler Eifert as my tight end start of the week. I'm going with that the well-known quarterback tight end stack. But
I hope you don't end up with regrets this week.
We need to add a crickets drop on the soundboard. That would be great for this. just when we all pause, you hit the crickets.
I apologize for nothing.
Look, that joke was good.
Thank you.
The pause.
Brooks, did you chuckle? Can I get a ruling?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's in.
Yeah.
The pause over here was I had my own regrets for not coming up with that joke. It was very good.
Oh, yeah,
it was very good. Andy Dalton, same reasons I like Tyler Eifert. I mean, Andy Dalton, multi-touchdown game, or multi-touchdowns every single week this season. He's getting it done. He actually has weapons now, and that's Andy Dalton and Matt Ryan are very similar. That they're capable quarterbacks, but they are only as good as their weapons allow them to be. And right now, he's locked and loaded. I mean, so I like Andy Dalton.
All right, those were our starts of the week. One more segment before we close it out.
Jason Moore's ironclad, locked and loaded, 100% guaranteed boom boom kicker of the week.
Look, my boom booms have sucked. I'm going to need some luck here. So I'm going with the Chiefs kicker, Harrison Butker. You rhyme, Butker.
I was just going to ask.
I'll allow it.
The only thing I could come up with
get him to score
was
points.
Highly inappropriate, so I went with luck here.
And on that note, goodbye. Draft.com/ballers if you want to play some DFS. Have fun watching the Thursday night game. We'll be back tomorrow with more matchups, in and out, and a lot more.
Goodbye.
Say hi to your mother for me.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.